Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in here and sit down with me and let's get something for you. Hot or cold to drink, whatever you like. Open your Bible up, sit here at the table, and while we're just going to do a little Bible study today because when you enter the Bible Bistro, you know it's going to be hot and fresh, artisanal, locally sourced, and responsibly handled. Because that's what we do here. It's 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. So it's every day, 5 days a week, 5 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. That's what we do here at Daily Dose Radio. So I hope that you'll open your Bible up today and join me as we study Psalm 93. Psalm 93 will be our subject this week. It's 5 verses long, so we're just going to take one verse a day. And this psalm needs to be digested in that manner because it's like my Aunt Virgie's Mississippi mud cake. You can only eat it in little bites. That's how rich it is. So we're going to take little bites this week, just one verse a day. It's only 5 verses long, but this psalm is about the majesty of the Lord. That's what we're going to entitle this psalm, the majesty of the Lord. This magisterial psalm, how do you say that word? Magisterial maybe. This is one of those psalms that celebrates the Lord as King and His majesty in that way. Now, we have lots of psalms that do that, but this psalm and several others are like it, 47, 97, 99, these psalms, they seek to worship God as King and exalt Him and Him alone. So there's nothing else in this psalm but the majesty of God. So, of course, sometimes we get distracted, I think, in the psalms, and we forget that these are items of worship. So why not worship the majesty of God? And, that's wholly appropriate in any worship setting, is the majesty of God. And so here we have that here in Psalm 93. And also we see some very, very wonderful theology about who God is and what He's done and why He's on His throne. And there's some application that we'll have right at the very end of the psalm for us this week. So if you have your Bible and you're looking there, you'll notice that there's no introduction. This is another orphanic psalm, but not only is it orphanic, but it doesn't have an author's name or suggestion for an author. There's no history here. There's nothing. It doesn't even tell us that it's a psalm or a song. It just gives us nothing for an introduction. So it falls into that category. We have 5 verses, and the verses move along very quickly. So you can read this song in just a moment, and it's so fast, it flows so quickly that sometimes it's possible to miss things. That's why one of the reasons why we're going to take it one verse at a time. So let me read for us verse 1. The Lord reigns. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith He has girded Himself. The world also is established, and it cannot be moved. So you see here, we start right off with what God's doing. He reigns. The Lord reigns. That's His current condition. He's reigning. He's reigning over all things. Not only that, but He's clothed with majesty. So like a king who has on his royal apparel, his crown, and he's seated upon his throne, and maybe he has the emblems of his authority in his hands, maybe a staff or a mace, kind of like the kings of old would have. He's seated upon His throne, and so the Lord reigns and is clothed. And we know who He is and what He is. He's God above. He's King of all things. This is the majesty of the Lord as King. He is clothed with strength, wherewith He has girded Himself. So it's not just majestic clothing, but it's strength. He is the one who has strength. No one else has strength. Only the Lord has strength. He's girded Himself with that. The world also is established, and it cannot be moved. So we begin with the creation. Seems like that is a theme in so many areas, not only in the Psalter, but in all the Old Testament, God established His power in creating the world. We see it. Look around you. You'll see God's majesty and His strength in the thing that He's made. Well, we'll talk about that more tomorrow, and that it cannot be moved tomorrow, because what the Lord makes, He makes to last. Join me then tomorrow. We'll look at verse 2 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.